What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Boslake. You find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, happy Tuesday. Tuesday? It is Tuesday.
It is a
dude.
happy Tuesday for me. I'm buzzing right now.
Yeah. You got a nice little surprise in your inbox this morning. There's a lot going on right now. Cyberpunk is updating their game. That's going to be on today's show. It is still actually live as we start our show, so we'll be recapping what we can on that. Something we should keep in mind, though, is in 2 days, Horizon Forbidden West, a live stream right here on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as YouTube at Inside the Game Official, plus ESTV, all the TV streaming networks, and the ESTV Plus app will be live for 2 hours. Stop by, find out how you can enter to win a copy of your very own Horizon Forbidden West.
I'm super excited for that stream as well. We're going to have to hold you back from the game. Otherwise, you're going to have to restart a whole new one.
Dude, so yeah, I will get into it later. Yeah, we'll be live there, but if you can't join us live like you can all the time, hit us up InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, let's get into it. It is Cyberpunk Day. Apparently, we're working on next-gen consoles, so 1.5 patch is coming. I'm trying to find out still because it's still going live, whether or not it's today or in the near future, but there's been a lot of updates and a lot of changes, so we're pretty excited for that. Somewhat. The rumors are piling in as well, Scott. Goldeneye 007 rumors. Until Dawn Remastered. What is Capcom teasing? And Platinum Games wouldn't mind being acquired. Apparently. That's a weird one. Dude, isn't that weird?
That's a bit of an interesting idea.
Yeah. Oh, they're showing a DLC. So Northern Nerdcast is still watching it and he's keeping us updated. Now they're showing DLC story. Dude, let us know if they show us any multiplayer. That's because apparently that's a thing that's coming at some point, but who knows when. I didn't expect this to go that long. Scott, let's get into the recap of Cyberpunk. It is, that's what I said, it's still continuing. I made like a page and a half of notes. They showed PS5, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X gameplay. They've got a bunch of updates, game balances, car fixes, a bunch of changes. I think that should have been there a long time ago. Just kind of putting that out there.
Like it,
right? Like it's just
a lot of just rebalances in general. They mentioned the economy has changed. A lot of the prices for cars and the like you get a lot more money out of it. So they've absolutely listened to feedback.
Yep.
By the seams of it.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things that I kind of thought this should have maybe been there in the first place. We know how rough that launch was, but it seems like they're finally there. They're finally fixing everything that they're working on. I'm just trying to make sure, just because we are television, that I am fixing some of this so we don't get caught with some of the language that comes up on screen. So that just got updated on real time. That's right. That's how we work here. Dude, they're talking about performance modes as well. Haptic feedback over on the PlayStation. Scott, for me, I'm gonna be honest, dude, it is a little too late for me. I'm already done. Oh, Northern Nerdcast, thanks, dude. The patch is now live. 1.5 patch is out. Okay. You can get into it. Scott, here is your chance.
Yeah, now I totally avoided this game. I completely purposefully did not watch anything. I didn't want to see any of these bugs. Sure. I saw a few of them accidentally, like an NPC just literally exploding in front of you, which was kind of funny, but I like that it now has there's a serious angle to it. It seems like it is polished enough that I'm not going to experience that sort of thing. And I had a lot of questions about the game just because I had avoided it. So we're seeing a little bit of this customization, character customization, and I think that's really cool, really important. And I'm glad to see it. I'm from somebody who was completely on the outside. Now I'm excited.
Which is cool, right? So they're adding more story content. They fixed AI bugs, issues. They made the world itself feel a lot more alive, I think, is one of the other things too, right? Because when we jumped into it initially,
traffic and
exactly, it felt really kind of almost empty, right? Like really sparse at times. And now, like AI in the crowds will just automatically react. If you pull out a gun, they might pull out a gun in return, kind of scenario, which is really cool, right? You fire a gun in the streets, cars will take off. They might even run somebody over. They did in the demo, which is kind of funny. It happens, right? So it's a 69 gig update just to kind of make some space on your next gen consoles that have no space.
There was a mention towards the turn of the hour. If you have it on PS5 and you're playing the PS4 version,
Yes.
It's now going to be an entirely different version of it. So you will have to download the entire game all over again. But it's the upgraded version. That makes a lot of sense.
It does. Not all features are going to be coming to last gen consoles, so be mindful of that. If you're looking to get back into Cyberpunk, there are fixes, but you're not going to have everything that you would get on the next Xbox or next PlayStation. What other things do they fix here, Scott? I want to talk about throwing knives. Dude, a simple little thing like throwing knives I thought was really cool. And now have a cooldown.
That reminded me of Rage. The very first Rage. You can pick a target, throw it, and it comes back.
So they updated the knives. The whole perk system's been reworked. The combat's been reworked. So they've done a lot of changes now moving forward, which is really good. However, like I said, for me, it's a little too late because I already finished the game. So without, there is a DLC story. Maybe that's enough to get me back. Dude, honestly, maybe that might just do it. With all these fixes, now we could have that smooth experience. I played it on Xbox Series X at the time. So did Nate. And Corey, I believe, played it over on Google Stadia. No update currently for Google Stadia, so keep that in mind. But there are for next gen.
They may have shown a diagram. Stadia was included on the diagram, but I didn't pay attention to exactly what was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's a bit of a time delay there.
Exactly. So that is in the works. Everything looks, man. If this would have been on day one, Scott, seriously, we would have had such a different outcome of this game, right? A different outlook for that matter. And I think that's one of the biggest things. So what's it been now? A year and a half?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, just because of the events in my life. I lost track of when that came out. But it's been on so long now that I'm glad to see them finally get it working as it should. And of course, I haven't jumped in yet. I don't know the difference between last version and this, but it's important for CD Projekt Red to finally nail something because the confidence in their next release is way low. So
exactly,
I'm hoping that this inspires them and the consumer base.
So Northern says the stream is done. Tease the story DLC, but no date. Roster over on YouTube says, I play on Stadia. Dude, that's awesome. I love Stadia. I'm a big fan of Stadia. He's hoping for an update over there soon. Yeah, I think it's coming soon. So there's an opportunity there. Actually, when the game actually launched initially, that was the best place to play the game, was on Stadia, because it worked.
Yeah.
Not perfectly, but it worked a lot better than everywhere else. Let's put it that way. So now that we're in the next gen, dude, if they just would have waited another year and a half, they'd already delayed the game. And when it came out, we saw like almost brick PlayStations. PlayStation took it off the store, which was just unheard of. Never seen that done ever in existence, right? And that's one of those biggest things. Like, holy crap, guys, you guys clearly needed more time. So now we're there. This looks like a solid experience for me. Not jumping back in, Scott, not until the DLC is out, and then I'll take a look at it. You, though, on the other hand,
I'm excited. I'm excited to get my hands on this one, and I'm thinking of my character. You spend a lot of time in character creation. Did you have any inspiration for who you made? Because I think I'm going to do Commander Usanagi from the Ghost in the Shell series.
Oh, nice. Dude, that's pretty wild. Yeah, for sure. I'm always a female character. It's just my play style, and I go stealth. Right, I went heavily invested into stealth, and that's what I tend to go with. But at the same time, like Nate went stealth too, and Nate's not like Nate is a stealth player, but he's really, dude, the guy plays Doom. Like, there's no stealth in that game.
So I was thinking you would do an Adam Jensen maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, will we ever get another Deus Ex, Scott?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh man, that would be awesome. So yeah, I think I'll hold out for the DLC, then I'll download the game. Is it will DLC be free? The story DLC be free? At this point, I think it should be free.
I feel like I've seen something about it being
we
free,
will see.
But that might be just reference to the last DLCs.
Yeah, it could be, right? You never quite know. We'll see what happens, but Cyberpunk is back. It's looking a lot better. So this was a complete Cyberpunk stream. I was hoping for a little tease on The Witcher 3, but we doesn't sound like we got anything, Scott. But what we are getting teased with,
Geralt showed up.
Yeah. Well, we're getting teased with GoldenEye 007 remastered, though. Could be revealed in the next few weeks. This comes from Jordan Midler over at VGC. A HD remastered of N64 classic Goldeneye 007 could be revealed as soon as during the next few weeks, it's been claimed. That's according to VentureBeat journalist Jeff Grubb, who stated on his premium Giant Bomb show, Grub Snacks, that he believes that Microsoft is likely to announce the revival rather than an original publisher, Nintendo. This matches the one source he has recently told VGC. Dude, everybody back in the day on N64 would just hover around the TV playing 4-person split screen GoldenEye multiplayer, and it was a standout. That
I think it was
things so much different back in the day.
1999, I think, was the year. Could have been 2000. My brother and I received that one for Christmas, and
awesome,
my father joined in. We played the multiplayer of that for hundreds of hours.
Oh yeah.
So I was so happy to report that this may be coming to fruition, and it launched into an hour-long conversation with my brother.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's a Rare title, Rare owned by Microsoft. But the GoldenEye
was missing in the replay. It was the glaring omission.
Absolutely. Everybody was kind of like, oh, where is that? Grubb said, I think Microsoft is going to be one to announce that first. He added, I think this game is probably coming pretty soon. I'm thinking next couple of weeks. We'll see. Time will tell, Scott.
Will Xbox respect the multi-platform? That's a big topic nowadays with just about everything. So
sure,
just makes me think: is it gonna come to Switch? We're a little too early to speculate, I think. But
yeah, Brad, the remake on Wii doesn't count anymore. I'm calling it.
I wasn't even sure about I wasn't aware there was a remake of any kind.
Do you want a remake or a remastered? Like which one would you want? Like a fresh skin or like a rebuild of the game, Scott? We're thinking next gen, right?
I just want a fresh skin.
Yeah.
There's been 2 or possibly 3 new games that have come out in the last decade, but they're labeled GoldenEye and they're just not.
They're not the original.
I would like it just to avoid any of that possibility and just give me a reskin, because if you change it too much, I feel like you lose the magic.
Yeah, the mechanics need to somewhat be updated. The visuals, I think, is one thing it could really use an update. If you're watching the footage, you know it's struggling right now. So we'll see what happens if it even gets announced. But another rumor, Scott, Until Dawn remake in development for current gen consoles. Rumored. Again, this comes from Game Bolt. Supermassive Games is currently working on the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me, though a release date and platforms have yet to be announced. While the developer looks to be continuing with the horror series, based on 5 recently trademarked titles, it's also reportedly working on a remake of Until Dawn. This is according to account NGT, who's known for leaking screenshots of Star Wars Eclipse before its official announcement on Twitter. They stated that, quote, from what I've heard from several separate sources, in addition to their new games, Supermassive is reportedly working on the remake of Until Dawn for some time, and that will be coming to current gen consoles, end quote. Scott, you didn't play this, did you?
No, I imagine you skipped this one.
Yep.
Just knowing you.
Yes, I did.
I totally didn't get to it, and I'm not really certain why. But looking at it now and everything I've seen about it, it seems to be a very cinematic, very good experience. If you like that choose your own adventure plus horror, that's a good combination for me.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people will be excited to get this on next gen if they haven't played it. Steve recently played it a couple months back, I want to say, maybe even a year ago at this point, and he loved it. Right? Like, it's just
I remember the gameplay that I watched. It was somebody intentionally failing every single
just to see what happens.
Every single real time. Yeah,
that's funny.
It was hilarious.
That is pretty funny. Obviously not something for me, but Scott, we could see what happens in the future of Capcom. They are teasing something new over with a countdown on their stuff. This comes from Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer. Capcom fans have been enjoying some fantastic games as of late. Between Resident Evil remakes, new entries in the long-running horror series, or beasts to hunt in Monster Hunter Rise, Capcom has been providing players with plenty to do, and now the company is providing fans with something new to do: stare at a mysterious countdown. Dude, it's all speculation of what is next. Any thoughts, Scott, of what they could be working on? We are hearing rumors of a Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that I've heard rumblings of that I could really guess with any sort of belief.
Yeah.
But then again, even in the case of Resident Evil 4, I thought they just did a remaster of sorts for the Xbox.
Again, not really my genre to tell you otherwise, Scott. I am not a horror fan. We all know I avoid this like the plague. So yeah, it's definitely not for me. You know what I really want is Monster Hunter World 2.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, right? Yep, absolutely.
I think that was 2018. It made my year when that game came out.
It was so long ago. We could definitely use another adaptation of that game. Let's see what a sequel could look like. How much bigger at that time, dude, when that game launched, there was so much to do in that game. That game was huge. It was beautiful. Oh, yeah. And you bring it now to an updated next-gen console, right, with the next version of whatever they kind of craft up, we could really see this taking the crafting mechanic that they built within that game to another level with so much more to do. Bigger, can you get bigger monsters, Scott? Maybe like Shadow of the Colossus kind of big?
That's exactly where I went. I thought, okay, maybe a little bit bigger.
Not much, though. But seriously, right? Like I think a lot of us could be, I know I'd be thrilled for a sequel for Monster Hunter World, but it sounds more like a Resident Evil thing coming than what I'd be looking for.
Yeah, more recently commercial success, Resident Evil 8 just skyrocketed. So that makes sense that they're following that up. You know, that's being worked on somebody's desk right now.
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense, right? The Resident Evil series is on a roll right now. Why would you let that go? I don't think they want to. They want to capitalize on that. But with all these games, man, they take time, right? And that's the biggest thing. The next version isn't going to be ready yet. So is it something we're going to get sooner, or something that they're just teasing is coming, that, hey, we're working on Resident Evil Village 2 or whatever that might be, right? We're back with more Resident Evil coverage. Or is it DLC? Scott, will they bring DLC to the Village?
Oh, that is possible. And I don't think there's been any DLC so far, has there?
Not that I'm aware of, but again, not the guy to tell you otherwise. So if you do know, hit us up. Hit us up or on Twitter at the official ITG and let us know, is there any DLC yet or been announced for Resident Evil Village?
The second wave of zombie games. We're coming through a lot of zombie games. Dying Light, Resident Evil Village.
Absolutely.
It's almost a revival.
It is, isn't it? We just need Telltale to make another Walking Dead.
And Dead Island, please.
Not for me. Not for me. But let's see what it is for Platinum, as Platinum CEO says he wouldn't dismiss acquisition offers as long as our freedom is respected. Comes from Andy Robinson over at VGC. Dude, this is a weird one. Speaking of VGC, following his recent promotion to president and CEO, Atsushi Inaba was asked about recent consolidation in the games industry, most significantly marked by Microsoft's $70 billion buyout of Activision Blizzard, and if Platinum would be open to offers.
I see the motivation now, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of billions going around.
Absolutely. And Abba responded by saying he's open to any possibility as long as Platinum was offered the kind of independence he expects Microsoft to offer Activision once the deal is completed. Quote, the most important thing for us is to have the freedom to make the games that we want to make, end quote. He said, quote, what I hear about the recent acquisitions, I don't think Microsoft is going to start micromanaging Activision to where they take away any of their freedom. I don't think it's going to be a relationship like that. I think there's going to be a lot of mutual respect there, and I think Activision will be able to continue doing what they do best. That's also what's most important to us at the end of the day, whatever form that takes for us and our company. So I would not turn anything down as long as our freedom was still respected, end quote.
Yeah, that has to be the priority.
Absolutely.
These are artists, after all. You can't make them jump through hoops and
Nope.
expect anything good out of that.
No, for sure. You want to be able to make sure you have your freedom to do what you want. But yeah, dude, if he gets offered a couple $1 billion, okay. Right? Like
I think you would draw me up anything if I had 6 figures behind it.
Well, so now here's the thing, right? So if he leads into this conversation, it makes me a little questionable because we know PlayStation's not done acquiring studios right now. We know Microsoft's not done acquiring studios right now either. Recently, too, Inaba said that he wants to work with Microsoft to bring back Scalebound. Is that an opportunity there as well? Do they get purchased now by Microsoft? Because Microsoft, like I said, aren't finished. So then they come in and they work out a deal to figure out how they can get back on the Scalebound, redesign some of that project or whatever wasn't working at the time. Who knows where this lies? But
that would be there's another mutually beneficial idea because they expressed interest in it. I think so many people echoed that online. Oh yeah, Scalebound, I remember that. And
yeah,
well, Phil Spencer's good at putting the right people in the right room together. So
he certainly is. But dude, then what's the future then for Bayonetta? Does that come off of Nintendo platforms and make its way on the other? If the purchase happens, right? It's just an
maybe that might be what the creative retention is about.
Could be. It could be. Scott, we do have a couple updates and such today. What do we have for today?
We have Aerial Knights Never Yields. Update. Okay. Available today for Xbox and PC. Interesting use of language there. Took me a moment to read that.
I saw that.
The free update includes new bonus levels, fresh music, a brand new endless mode, and the introduction of leaderboards. Very interesting.
Steve and Corey, I believe, reviewed that one for us on PC. You can check that out over at InsideTheGame.ca. That one inquires your interest at all.
We also have Sadako Rising, Dead by Daylight, unleashes unspeakable horrors on March 8th. From the depths, a dark presence lurks beneath the water, waiting to spread its curse to Dead by Daylight. I almost said Dying Light. It's just
dude, it's on the mind right now, right? Yeah.
The next thing I need to see some updates for. The fateful moment arrives on March 8th with Sadako Rising, a new chapter inspired by Koji Suzuki's novel Ringu and the original film adaptation.
Nice.
The 23rd addition to the globally acclaimed horror game will feature a new killer, Sadako. Yeah, this one is a game that just keeps on going, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't do it. I don't, man. No, can't.
Lastly, we have Chivalry 2 House Aberfall update, adds new team objective map, playable druids, peasant kidnapping, and bees. Oh, I hope Nick Cage is in there.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's good news. I want to see Corey go through that one. We just recently saw some clips of him just cleaving through the opposition.
It's pretty funny to watch. For sure.
Now, we do have one full release today, and that is Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. And that is on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, Switch, Stadia, and PC, just about everywhere.
There we go. Stadia is back. They haven't really gone anywhere, but they haven't really done much lately either, I think, is my biggest concern, Scott. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, we're going to get Corey back on Chivalry, I think. I'm sure he wouldn't mind jumping back into that world to see what he can do. A raid, Scott. Does that interest you at all?
Oh, it does. And peasant kidnapping was the one that stuck out to me, and I think that says more about me than the game.
That's just wrong. And that is going to be today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. Don't forget, we'll be live Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, streaming Horizon Forbidden West, where you can enter over on Twitter to win a copy of your own version of Horizon Forbidden West. But if you can't join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG, as well as YouTube at Inside the Game Official, hit us up later, InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. This is it for today's show. I'm Drew. That is Scott. We'll see everybody tomorrow inside the game.